All right. So this is prepping by faith. Hmm. Now, hmm, I watched this video before I decided to go live. So, I don't know. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. It just amazes me that people just blame, um, they just blame something other than the shooter. From video games to music to movies, TV shows to mental illness. And that mental illness is stigmatized because of the whole bullshit that's going on. But, anyways.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Prepping by Faith. Today we're going to talk about, is it evil or mental illness? I feel like this is something I've started hearing being discussed a lot lately concerning why we are seeing an acceleration in gun violence. So I wanted to take a few minutes to break this down and share with you my perspective because I think it's a little different than what we're hearing. When we hear of a mass shooting or we think of the mind of a serial killer like Jeffrey Dahmer or Charles Manson, many of us automatically equate them with some form of mental illness. Now, while I do believe there are genuinely some people that are affected by mental illness, I don't believe this is the case for the majority of these violent crimes that we witness. Now, hear me out. I think what we are dealing with is a matter of the heart and not a matter of the head. When you remove God and the biblical principles that our nation was founded upon, you start to see a moral degradation of society. Even those who aren't religious cannot ignore the moral fiber that runs deeply through Christianity and informs us of what is right and what is wrong. There are many biblical principles that we can all agree upon. You shall not murder, you shall not steal, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, etc. And it's not even just in America. We are witnessing this taking place globally. When you remove God from society, you see a lack in morals. You see a confused population.
So, prepping by faith, are you implying that people who are non believers, you're implying that they have no standards, they have no morals, they have no expectations? That's, to me, that's what you're implying. Prepping by faith, that's her name. So you mean to tell me that people who are not Christians, they have no morals? Really? You need to understand something. Freedom of religion. But hey,
That now doesn't understand what gender it is, that it's wrong to kill innocent lives in the womb, that looks at sexuality in a way that anything goes, and it shouldn't be a surprise that they even begin to blur the lines when it comes to committing violent crimes. What we need to understand is that there has always been good and evil. I want to ask you a question. Do you think the devil is mentally ill? Or do you think that the Bible is correct in labeling him the great deceiver, the ultimate liar, the ruler of this world, the prince of the power of the air? If we start to gain that level of understanding, then we know that the devil has the ability to influence his children just as God does his. Do you think that Cain slew Abel because he was mentally ill? Or do you think he was just influenced by evil? I think it has become all too easy in our society to label everyone who doesn't act rationally and who does the most evil things as mentally ill, when in fact what they are is just pure evil and full of the devil. They are influenced by darkness, and so they commit atrocities. Simple as that. We have been taught our whole lives that every person who is
Or people are just really demented and probably has nothing to do with the devil. Did you think about that? Of course not. Because it doesn't fit your narrative. I don't know. She may be a good person, but she does come off as sheepish.
has gone on a killing spree with a firearm or any other device was completely sick in the head. I think they were purely sick in the heart. If we can't understand something, we automatically assume it's because they are a head case. I look at a lot of these people who have committed these crimes, and you can usually see an element of rationality. Either they felt wronged in some way by the person they killed, they projected something onto that person because of a previous experience, or they just picked out a victim because they could. That shows a level of calculation, heightened intelligence, and many times a lot of effort and planning involved. That doesn't speak of mental illness to me. That seems like a free pass the society has decided to give these people. I don't remember reading any stories in the Bible about the mentally ill, but I do remember reading several about ones who were purely evil with a murderous spirit. My biggest problem with this narrative concerning gun violence being committed by the mentally ill is that this is
Call it for what it is, violence. Because the liberals are calling it gun violence. No, call it for what it is, violence. Man.
being pushed by the left. If we join in on the bandwagon and decide that's what these people are, then we are playing into their desire for more red flag laws. We already have these in my state, and it is a concern of mine. The biggest problem with red flag laws is who decides you're mentally unfit to possess a weapon. Oftentimes, all it takes is one report from an individual who has a problem with you, whether it's a neighbor, a coworker, an ex-friend, take your pick.
But here's the big problem. I'm not saying that a family member or friend or whoever else is going to say, oh, yeah, he, make up a lie, manipulate the red flag law and all that bullshit. But then you have to watch out for the people who enforce red flag laws. And guess who that is? The cops. Funny that you didn't mention them.
Well, there come a time when they decide you're mentally unfit because you don't think like they do, because you vote a certain way. You won't get the jab. You aren't on board with censorship. You don't agree with open borders. Pick one. We cannot allow them to use the same propaganda they've always pushed and embrace it without realizing we're doing so. We need to pay attention to these subtle messages and call them out for what they are: divisive tactics to confuse us and leave us with no legal grounds to defend ourselves. It's my belief that they have no intentions of backing off their stance for gun control. And while I do believe we need to do something, a top down approach will never fix it. Until we start addressing the matter of the heart and true evil, then you will never see this begin to change. Criminals will always find a workaround. That's why they're called criminals. They don't obey laws. Laws only work for.
Okay. You do realize that some criminals are actual, real, true freedom fighters? You do realize that, right? Some of them. Not all of them, but some of them. Have to put that in there. You said the talk down approach is not going to work. So, what kind of approach? Sorry about that. So, what kind of approach are you talking about that's going to work?
Background checks come back. Get a firearm because it keeps everybody safer. I'm sure.
Hold on.
He's from Cincinnati, so I just try to.
We're gonna lose you for about 10 seconds here. We're gonna have to sell. We're gonna talk about this though. Another fuck you, and that's what everybody's been saying. But everybody's been like, "Oh, okay, it doesn't affect me. Who cares? I don't mind back a little. I don't mind a little bit more of an intrusive background check. It's okay. We should, until their background checks come back."
Oh, well. Well, I'm going to go ahead and continue with this.
Law-abiding citizens. We don't have harsh enough punishments in our country. If we would begin to make true examples out of these people, you would automatically see crime begin to decline. If we would introduce God and moral principles back into our homes, into the schools, into legislation, you would see an improvement as well. We need to think.
You also need to think that freedom of religion is protected. You got the Jews, you got the Christians, you got the Catholics, you got the Buddhists, you got the Wiccans, you got the pagans, you got the Satanists. You have to respect people's freedom of religion rights. You have to. You can keep on saying that, well, we need to put God back into our schools, back into government, blah, 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 blah. Is that going to fix everything? No. Harsher punishments? That's iffy. That's really iffy. Let's go back to the Wild West days. All right. The laws back then were way harsher back then than they are now. They carried out public hangings and all that. Well, and of course, they had, brought God into the whole mix. Did that stop crime from going on? No, it didn't. Sir Coolbox. Oh my gosh.
Think small scale, not large scale, to improve these issues. We have to start with ourselves, our children, local and state governments before we can ever address the federal issues. This is my opinion. We definitely have a matter of the heart rather.
Now, I will say this. I actually agree with her because she actually said we have to start with ourselves. That's the big thing. We got to start with ourselves. Like working on a problem that we have or holding ourselves accountable, so on and so forth. So, going to have to agree with her on that. We got to start with ourselves.
Other than a matter of the head to deal with this in our country and others before we will ever see a real change. If you have enjoyed this video today, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And remember to pray, prep, and put God first. God bless.
But here's the main reason why I'm making this reaction. All right. Ben says, I'd say it's neither. This is a very deceptive video in a way. It kind of is. In what way is it deceptive? Because you didn't mention how the Bible also leads to so-called criminal behavior, though it's mistranslation on how it can create mental health issues. Prepping by Faith says, okay, so now because I don't cover a topic to the way that you would, because I don't share the same opinion, it's deceptive. No, that's not what he said. You know, it's just a never ending. Oh my gosh. I suppose I could argue the same with the topics you cover as well. Like what? Ben actually covers good conversations, good talking points. Mistranslation could be applied to any book or any setting, not just the Bible. Most would have a complete opposite stance to yours concerning how the Bible creates mental health issues. I'm sure most would say it helps them see things more clearly. Everything is up to interpretation, and since this is my channel, I will be covering topics according to my opinion, belief system, values, thoughts, and ideas. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but you gotta be open-minded to other people's ideas, especially if it's a shit hits the fan scenario, whatever you want to call it. And Ben says, if I see them as deceptive as your viewer, I'm free to do so. Fair. I don't talk to validate my audience. I just give my opinions. That's all of any of this is. Do you have any background in this biblical stuff? Fair question. Prepping by Faith says, it's one thing to have an opinion and another to be constantly on the offensive. You do realize you can share your views without constant thrust and parry, whatever, right? I don't think most of us talk to validate an audience. Well, you'd be surprised who does that. We create a channel to share our opinions and views with others, and then if it resonates with them, that's an added bonus. My biblical background does not require a degree, just as yours doesn't in your free-minded theology. Dave says, I've been reading this conversation. I find it kind of funny how you seem to go after people who have religious beliefs, who don't believe the things you believe. No, it's because you all think it's no different than some person who's a Satanist who goes around and they say, oh, well, you know, the way you believe, the way you said this, the way you believe is wrong. I would do the same thing to a Satanist. If a Satanist said, oh, I'm against gun violence, no, call it for what it is, violence, because that's exactly what it is. Dave, I think you're just projecting, really. I saw the video where you responded to Bear Independent and then went after people of faith there as well. I believe that you did this because you had your number, because he had your number. Anyone who only preps weapons and doesn't think to prep any food is a marauder in my book. There it is right there. The fact that you don't see the importance of prepping food goes to show that you are not a prepper in any sense of the word. And what you are? I believe that you don't worry about food because you intend on taking it when the time arises. Well, you have to take care of yourself, don't you? You have to take care of yourself. No, NG. Apparently, Ben responded to Bear Independence video. You also mentioned that you believe in God. I have no doubt that you do, but you don't worship him. You actively oppose him. Your free-thinking, hippy-dippy religious view that you try to push on your channel are of the devil. My gosh, these people are so fucking stupid. This guy Dave is fucking stupid. So what? I'm a Norse pagan. I worship the devil. You tell people that they are the most important thing and that they shouldn't conform to any religious view. Well, either way, you're conforming to something. I've talked about this. You conform to a certain idea that your religion teaches you. Whoever teaches you this religion, you conform to something. This is exactly what the devil convinced Eve of in the garden. Maybe one day you will see the error of your ways, but I'm not counting on it. People like you who are full of themselves can't think of anything but themselves. Dave, you're projecting, dude. Ben says, "Thanks, brother. You guys are proving the point I made. You can't think outside of the mistranslation, yet you'll attack me for doing so. Lol. LOL. And this is why division is created." Fair point. What political background do you have, Dave? Dave responds, I don't have to have a biblical background. He says, I don't have to have a biblical background to be able to read. No, you're not right. I mean, you're not wrong, but it is what it is. What is your biblical background? Where did you get your doctrine in theology? Theology. I can't speak today. Theologically. I can't speak theology. You are quick to ask for credentials, but don't offer yours. What is your backstory, and where did it all go so wrong for you? You talk about mistranslation and division being created, but you are the one doing the dividing. See, that's the thing right there. People like this guy, Dave, they're so quick to say, oh, well, you're dividing others. People like heavy duty country too. You're dividing others. Dude, I got some news for you. This country has been divided for a long time now, long before I got into politics. You tell others that your interpretation of the Bible is incorrect, and you think that isn't. My gosh, dude. People's faith is a major part of who they are. Not really. Not really. Because, see, the way I see it, people let religion govern over principle. I'm sure somebody might disagree with me on that, and that's fine. But that's just my opinion. You basically tell them that what they believe and who they are is wrong, yet don't find it offensive. Why is it that your interpretation just because, sorry. Yeah, this guy Dave is a fucking idiot. It's all right. It'll be all right. Peaceful Monkey. Interesting conversation about the Bible, and there are many versions of it, correct? The Bible has been around for a while, and some cool stories in it that you can learn from. Everyone has their own interpretation of it for their own personal benefit. and use it to help them. And that's the biggest problem right there. That's the biggest problem. People interpret the Bible differently. Individual basis. I mean, Ben says it's the greatest story ever told, right? Says so you can read. That's great. No background on this conversation makes your opinions less relevant. But with all due respect, Dan says no more so than yours. I noticed you didn't mention your credentials as well. I'm to assume that what you say is irrelevant as well then, and not backed by any real knowledge on the subject. So what is your real knowledge that you have there, Dave? Peaceful Monkey says, depends on what you personally get out of it, Ben. Peaceful Monkey then responds by saying, I take philosophy and religion back in college. Says, please enlighten me about your background, Ben, so we can have a further discussion about it. Says, kudos. Prepping by Faith says, Ben, no one is trying to beat anyone into submission. Well, it seems like kind of your supporters are doing that to Ben. That's just what I'm seeing. They have the right to believe what they want. I agree. And they have the right to watch a video or not. Once again, agreed. I would honestly like to know how you feel this is benefiting anyone. I think by now everyone who has watched your channel understands what you believe and what you don't believe. But coming over to other channels to create arguments and sow discord is not what would please God. I am not going to promote this sort of conversation on my channel. Then why leave it up? Why? See, that's the thing. Why leave the conversation up? If you don't like it, you are free to delete the conversation, the comment thread that the Apocalyptic Ben 3311 made. Basically, this is what I'm seeing, right? Oh, no, you're not a Christian. Oh, no, you're not a Christian. No, you're not a Christian. That's basically what I see. I call it like I see it. What's up, rebel dude? I'm pretty sure I'm shadow banned, still shadow banned. Sorry, I can't speak. I'm pretty sure I'm still shadow banned. Their dag bum Sir Coolbox wouldn't surprise me. But basically, that's what I'm saying. I am not going to promote this conversation on my channel, and I would appreciate it if you kept the negative energy and outrageous accusations to your channel. See, the thing is, once you make videos like this, I want you to see my face. Prepping by Faith. I want you to see my face. You made the video, so you have to be open to other people's interpretations of what you're saying. You have to be open to disagreements. You put yourself out there, so it is what it is. That's just the way I see it. That may be your style, but this is mine. We should walk in peace, but we should also stand up for the truth and righteousness. I would appreciate it if you would respectfully withdraw and agree to disagree. Well, maybe you should have done that to begin with. In fact, Ben just said this is a very deceptive video. Well, why are you so defensive about it? No one is trying to beat people into submission. You are the one attacking others. Not the way I see it. No one cares what you believe. Well, obviously you do because you responded to him. You can believe in the spaghetti monster if you want. What the fuck, dude? That's just you spouting off a bunch of bullshit. The problem is that you are going after people's belief. Did you mean to say beliefs? You can believe. The problem is, if you don't believe what someone says, then move on. But so basically, if someone says that during the era when these black and white um, movies, they would say that the sky was all white or black, you would believe that, right? Is that what you're trying to say? If you don't believe what someone says, then move on. But you made it a point to tell them what that they believe what they believe is wrong. Oh man, this is just like Zombie Farmer all over again. Also, you have a degree in counseling from Christian University. Assuming that isn't a lie, what does that have to do with your doctrinate and theology? Theology. I can't speak. Theology. As a counselor, surely you should know not to go after people's belief system and expect nothing to come of it. See, that's the thing right there. People crumble when their belief system shatters, when they found out the truth about their belief system. When it shatters, when it crumbles, that's when they choke or they just run for the hills like cowards, and you get the picture. The fact that you do all this stuff that you do and no better shows that you intend to harm. And yeah, that's a false accusation there. And not bring anyone together. What are you doing, Dave? What are you doing? What? See, that's the thing right there. I want to know something. All these people, I want to bring Johnny Goble, all those people into this. Even Black Scout Survival, the Zombie Farmer, Heavy Duty Country. What the fuck have you done? What the fuck have you done? All of you in Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter, you have not come up with the solutions to solve problems. So who in the fuck are you to go around and say, well, you're not here to bring people together? Well, what the fuck are you doing? Besides bitching about, oh, well, you don't believe what I believe. Shut the fuck up. Stop being a bunch of fucking babies. Seriously. Fucking kids. The way I see it, you attacked Ben. That's just the way I see it. Ben says, Dave, you're attacking me, brother. You don't see it? Don't you see it? Sorry. I studied theology and theos, whatever, forward to backward, way beyond what you have it appears. Liberty University forces students to tie religion into every paper they write. Wait, you went to Liberty University? You went to Liberty University. You went to Liberty University in Lynchburg, which is not far away from me right now. All right. Not a big fan of Liberty University. That's just me. I've read the entire King James version of the Bible and First Test and all the 38 gods religions before this. Anyways, you see, there you go again, going after someone's belief. Somehow that isn't an attack. Once again, I would hope with your background, you would either accept others' beliefs or just shut up. First of all, he's not physically saying anything when he just posted something in a comment thread of someone's video. If you have nothing to add to the conversation that would help anyone, it would be the best to keep quiet. So basically, man, it would be best to keep quiet, huh? So in other words, you are what you claim to be against.
Firearms, because it keeps everybody.
Is that what you're trying to say? You tell someone to be quiet. Is that gonna go well for you when shit hits the fan? See, that's the thing. You don't think outside the Bible. If someone like me, who's a Norse pagan, you get your panties in a wad. Oh, you're not a Christian. Oh my gosh. You're not a Christian. The world is coming to an end, guys. Calling into question someone's entire belief system, and then when they respond, you say they are attacking you. You know exactly what you're doing. Like I've already said, you intend harm. Dude, that's a reach, dude. Not one thing you have said was intended to bring people together. What? The bullshit that you spew out? That's bringing people together? Ben says, Dave, what you're saying is completely irrelevant to the topic. This video was deceptive, which it was. I explained why. I gave my credentials and a little more. And you decided to go off topic due to the fact that you have no way of explaining yourself. Yet you treat me, who is heavily educated in your area of expertise, terribly. Terribly, sorry. Looking back here on this entire conversation, it appears my comment was a something. Your responses have proven it, which they have. All right, Seawoke. Hey, this douchebag is fucking idiot. This guy. This discussion. This is a discussion of science versus religion, oil and water. Can't deny that. The original topic was, is it evil or mental health? Not once did you say what you thought it was and said it was neither of those two. All you did was bash the options, but didn't provide an answer. How did he bash the options? How? I don't see how. Oh my gosh. But didn't provide an answer as to what you thought it was. You were quick to bash the Bible. How can you bash something? The only thing I can think of is that you can bash a human being. That's just about it. Oh, Patty Lynn made a video. Might have to check that out. Mob up, church. Yeah, this guy, he's a fucking idiot. Peaceful Monkey says, Ben, you are intentionally trying to stir trouble because obviously I'm reading through this comment stream. I see some pretty bad fights in the comments and at times and see crazy stuff people write. It's crazy when people write in the comments instead of controlling themselves. Maybe a different choice of words would be helpful. Seeing seems. What the fuck are you trying to say? Seeing seems like you like using trigger words to set people off. There's a proper way of having a discussion, like you would know. Like you would know. A proper discussion is weighing out the pros and cons and also acknowledging what people feel. Now, your view on the Bible is a con. That's like the pot calling the kettle black, you fucking idiot. You have to outweigh it with a pro column. You can always see negative in everything. Stoics look at boundaries and feel the walls. You start off a discussion acknowledging what someone said. I think I'm talking pretty proper here for further discussion. You have to rub people right. Ben says, none of what you're saying is very relevant to my statement. That is how you interpret it. They have, whatever that is, discussion what you mentioned. Why don't you have a discussion on there? Peaceful Monkey says, what do you get out of talking like this? Stroking your ego? Well, see, there's the problem right there. There's the problem. There's the problem. Stroking your own ego. Well, that's what the Pro 2A guys and girls are doing. Stroking their own egos. And most of those Pro 2A rally guys, they are preppers. And guess who sells fear? Sells them false hope. Get your first aid kit for $10.95 because the world is coming to an end. Get the fuck over yourselves. Seriously, get the fuck over yourselves. Of course, you will probably say, oh, I'm a Christian. Don't be cussing like that. First of all, freedom of goddamn speech. What do you get out of talking like this? Stroking your own ego? Peaceful Monkey says, interesting emotional trigger words you applied on me. Am I supposed to get fired up or not? Maybe you use gaslighting techniques. Oh, the pot calling the kettle black. Listen what this fucking dumbass says. You use gaslighting techniques with your counseling background, saying I'm well in depth in that. Oh my gosh. Ben says, what ego? I stated my opinion. I got met with heavy opposition, not very Christian-like at all. You keep trying to redirect the topic of the conversation. Why? Peaceful Monkey says, do you have a resume you can forward me so I can look over credentials? Really, it's none of your business. It's none of your business to look over his college degree. I don't care if he went to UNC, USC, UCLA, or Liberty University. Oh my gosh, it's like all these other people saying, well, you got to prove that you have to have, you did this, you did that, you have this, you have that. My gosh, bunch of fucking kids. Peaceful Monkey then says, very interesting specimen you are. I'm studying. Ever hear him attacks are a real thing, right? Really? Does he really have? Oh my gosh, what a freaking shill. What a freaking grifter. Oh, heavy duty country and Black Scout survival. You want to disrespect somebody who is chunky, overweight, obese, whatever, chubby. Really, you got to think about it this way. You actually disrespected a faction of your followers. Now I got all. Let's see what's going on here. Hi. I just got to say this. What's the saying? One man's trash is another man's treasure. Some people focus on getting guns and ammunition, while others they focus on getting guns, more ammunition, and a lot of food, so on and so forth. So you're going to talk about Christianity, but yet you're subscribed to some dude like Thor Haven Farm. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. What's that guy's name? I forgot his name. Who had a problem with the unapologetic prepper? Ben, you still in here? What's up, headed turtle? Ben, wake up. Wake up now. What was that one? Unapologetic prepper. On a Ben, what's that one dude who gave me a shout out? Think he lives in New York? New York. Working 1075, guys. Alaska prepper. My memory. We must accept what's coming and be ready for it. Dude, seriously. Come on now. New York prepper? His name? No. What's that? Firefighter prepper? Ben.
Some shit like that will happen. I mean, those days are fast approaching, and if they're not fast approaching, it's fucking really over with. There's no fixing anything. But like, it slave is no longer an option. Paying the king's ransom is no longer an option. Letting your kids watch you fucking bend over and take it from Big Daddy government is no longer an option.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when does that happen? At what point? Because like we're seeing them. Like we've seen.
Experience an epic summer at Busch Gardens with world-class rides, shows, and exciting animal encounters. Brave Pantheon, the world's fastest multi-launch coaster, open now. Come early and stay late during summer.
If it's a couple nuclear bombs go off in this country, who are you going to rely on? People think that the country could save you no matter what happens. You don't want to be reliant on the government. This is what this is about. My name is Jason Charles. I'm 40 years old. I'm a firefighter in New York City. I'm the organizer of NYC Preppers Network. I'm also a prepper myself. I've been prepping for 7 years now. This is just put here. So the dog doesn't lay on the couch. Not that putting dirty camping gear makes it any better.
If you were to put it simply, what are you prepping for?
I'm prepping for everything. All right, so it's not one thing anymore. Financial crisis, hurricane, tornadoes, bad winter storms, So these are things that we get struck with all the time. The alien invasion going to take us out? No. The zombies going to rise up out of the ground? And no. That's real. That's fantasy. That's people want to happen. Is a nuclear bomb going to go off in one of the cities? More likely. That's how you navigate it. You try to stay within a realm of reality. Most likely scenario would probably be like a pandemic. Complete collapse of civilization. Cold War was the reason why people started prepping. What if they drop a bomb? What if they do this? What if they cut off the food supply? Guys started prepping. It became an American thing. So this closet right here is what I refer to jokingly as the end of the world closet. Jokingly. So we have vitamins and some medical supplies here.
Hold on. Speaking of which. Wow.
What you are about to see is a nuclear war simulation based on data collected and processed from the International Atomic Energy Agency, the United Nations, information publicly available from the Central Intelligence Agency, and other declassified sources. The purpose of this simulation is to provide a visualization of the global consequences of a nuclear war between the Russian Federation and state members of NATO. Even though simplified to a great degree, it shows in a clear and realistic way the outcome of a nuclear war. Based on recent geopolitical events, the software used on this simulation has considered Russia to be most likely to begin a nuclear war. Time is accelerated to simplify the viewing of the events, and they are divided into 3 stages: nuclear war, nuclear fallout, and nuclear winter. Simulation ready. Declassified mode activated. For context, population of nations engaged at war. NATO member states have 944 million people. The Russian Federation has 145 million people. Stage 1, Nuclear War. Elapsed time: 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours, 17 hours, 18 hours, 19 hours, 20 hours, 21 hours, 22 hours, 23 hours, 24 hours. Total global casualties at 178 million people. Losses of nations engaged at war. NATO member states have lost 9.1% of their total population. The Russian Federation has lost 62.9% of its total population. Stage 2, nuclear fallout. Elapsed time: 3 days, 6 days, 9 days, 12 days, 15 days, 18 days.
Now, if you see the glows and all that, that represents the radiation levels.
21 days, 24 days, 27 days, 30 days. Maximum radiation levels recorded, shown by degrees of latitude, in rem units. Total global casualties at 186 million people. Stage 3, nuclear winter. Elapsed time: 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. Minimum temperature recorded, shown by degrees of latitude, in Celsius degrees. Total global casualties at 548 million people. End of the simulation. Stand by. Conclusions. During the stage of nuclear war, only the engaged nations were affected directly, and casualties were limited to military facilities and cities targeted as part of tactical and retaliatory attacks. On this first stage, we saw the highest number of deaths in the shortest amount of time. During the stage of nuclear fallout, irradiated material in the form of dust was carried by wind currents to every corner of the planet, causing deaths related to radiation sickness, and setting the stage for a nuclear winter. Deaths in this period increased relatively slowly. During the stage of nuclear winter, the presence of dust in the atmosphere dropped temperatures worldwide, causing mass deaths of plants, animals and people, who could not adapt. Mass famine during this period resulted in the largest amounts of deaths for the entire nuclear conflict. The conclusion of this simulation is that no country on Earth will be safe in the event of a nuclear war. The policy of mutually assured destruction is truly mad, and we must push forward initiatives to avoid the proliferation of nuclear weapons, and to reduce existing arsenals. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to show your support to all the effort I put into making this simulation, please leave your like, a comment, and share this video with your friends. You are welcome to subscribe, and thanks again for watching.
It's a bit scary. And they just irradiated the freaking seawater too. Mm, mm, mm. Wow. That's all I have to say is wow. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? And that's the truth. Yeah. Yep. Hmm. I think that's enough. Doomsday people. Bro. Hmm. Let's see what else. Yeah. Oh, well. Mm-mm-mm.
Y'all can't hear me. I tried this earlier and the sound was terrible. video. I'm just gonna watch chat.
What y'all up to?
This is another trick with the cigarette, putting the cigarette behind your ear. If you'll burn it a little bit, put a little burn on there, you'll look even more intimidating. Let me turn this volume down. Boom. Y'all ignore those buckets. Those are not marijuana buckets. What y'all up to? Why is this not loading chat? Hi. Hello. Scooter, what's up with you? Andrea knows, Mike Monster. Chris Adams, look, I need somebody to mod. Scooter. All right, I got to get used to this, man, because I'm delayed over here. Scooter, you're my mod, so as long as ain't nothing getting crazy, we're good. What y'all up to? Is the sound okay? Because I had to turn the volume down.
This guy's hilarious.
It is hot as hell out here. I'm trying to catch up. Hold on. Sounds good. All right. What y'all up to on a Monday? A lovely Monday. I see Mr. Goebel was back to making up church videos since his video about the mayor was absolute shit. We're not going to talk about Upchurch until them views go down, huh? I feel so uncomfortable right now. I have longer arms, so it's kind of, I don't know where to put them. Keep them shades on, son. I got you, man. I look better with shades on because I got weird eyes, man. My left eye's, it's closer to my nose than my right one. Tony Lehman. Just K. Let's see who we got in here. Fred Durst did it all for the Nookie. The Truth. Chad. Kristen. Bagley. Bird. Andrew Knows. Thomas Campbell. Kid Rock is in here. What the hell? Kid Rock's in here. There's Mama. Tina. Miss Deerdorf. Kid Rock's in here. That's crazy. What's up, Kid Rock? I look so weird sitting on this camera leaning over. I'm going to pull this here. Y'all let me know if it gives you feedback. Because it was giving me feedback earlier, but the volume's up. We good? We still good on volume? See how far I'm delayed. Good? Okay. It was getting static earlier. I didn't know if it was the air conditioner or the heat, should I say. My great grandmother, hell, she keeps the heat on all year long because she's on, they're like 17 different blood thinners. She's got a blood thickener and something for her calluses, man. I don't know what's going on with it. No, ma'am. That was right after he wrecked, Miss Deerdorf. And you got to let him know that pavement stuff is it's unforgiving. But my face is so.
Well, guys, I got to go. Got to do some other things. So I'll see y'all later. Reese's Pieces, bro.